Halloween
Forever.
Good evening, Stephen. How was your Thanksgiving?
That's good, Brian. How was yours?
You know what? Can't complain. Can't complain. I do have one for you. Are you feeling up to one?
I'm pretty overstuffed, but I am feeling up to one.
You got just a wafer thin one? Do you have room for just a wafer thin one?
I have room just for a wafer thin.
You know what? I was doing a little Black Friday shopping, right? And I was coming out of the Hallmark store, right? And you know that little awkward thing where you kind of are walking right towards somebody, and then you want to move left, and then they move the other direction, and then you go to move right, and then they move in the same direction. You do this little awkward dance, and you like do an awkward little smile at each other because you're like trying to get out of each other's way, but you're just making it more in each other's way. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I did that coming out of the Hallmark store. Guess who it was?
Candace Cameron Bure?
No, that's a great guess. It was none other than Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, The Rock.
Yeah. And I came out of there and I immediately found myself between a rock and a card place.
Hey.
Welcome, boys and ghouls, to a very merry minisode of Halloween is Forever. I'm Brian.
I'm Steve.
Long way to go for not a big payoff, but I'll take it. I think I delivered it pretty well, and that's what I'm here for.
Yep. I was kind of at the same time as you were going through that long setup. I started drifting off, and I was like,
I saw your eyes roll back in your head a little bit.
Yeah. Just because I was like, damn, you remember the Yum Yum tree?
You know, it's a good joke when the person you're telling it to is like, God damn, you remember the Yum Yum tree? Yeah,
it was like a card place, but it had a big tree in the middle that had full of Yum Yums. It was crazy.
I remember that. That was wild. That shit was wild. I'll try to come up with a joke for that next time. But no, we're talking Hallmark because you might be like, well, why are they talking Hallmark? Well, because we're talking a little flicky that I found that I knew nothing about until recently. And I reached out to Steve and I said, hey, you know anything about this movie? He said, no. I said, we should talk about it. It's a lot of fun. It is a kind of a spoof on one of them Hallmark Christmas movies that, I do put on the background of my life from time to time. But it's a horror comedy version. It's called Letters to Satan Claus from the year of our Lord 2020. We're going to talk about that little flicky here as we kick off the holiday season proper in our first episode post Thanksgiving. And you might be here thinking to yourself, well, damn, boys, this episode's coming out on December 1st. Why isn't this a showdown? Well, obviously you skipped last week or you wasn't paying attention because we're going to do our showdown episode the second Monday of the month in December for our Secret Satan. So this gives us a little satanic warm up because that's what works best for our guests, right? All right. But of course, before we do all this shit, we get on those little things. We got to talk about some stuff. Steven, do you happen to have a little wet one over there you might be slurping on?
It's not a little wet one. It's a big wet one.
You got a big wet one over there?
I got a big wet one.
What are you slurping on?
I'm slurping on something, and I'm just going to read it off in a way that I hope activates you like an MK Ultra sleeper cell.
Yeah.
Yes. Ice cream, cake, sour, banana, birthday cake, icing, vanilla cookie, wafers, vanilla, soft serve, milk, sugar.
That is not a beer. That is the shopping list for a child. It's like when Ernie went to the grocery store, and then that's all the shit Ernie put in the cart. Ew. Guys, you can't see this at home unless you are joining us in the Discord here. That looks like Tang, but really concentrated. Like maybe you put an extra scoop of Tang in there and you swirled it up. That's what I'm looking at. Zero foam on Steve's beer. That sounds disgusting.
There is so many suspended particulates in here.
I can only imagine.
And Tang is kind of right, but it's like if Tang made a pineapple flavor.
Yuck.
But
you guys can't see it. Steve took a drink of it. He had to wait several sequence for it to travel down the glass into his mouth, like he's drinking syrup.
Oh, it's like drinking the what were the Squeeze-Its, the Squeeze-It Pops from back in the day? Yeah,
little push pop. Yeah.
It was like jellified Kool-Aid, and then you had to squeeze the bottle to get it down.
Yuck.
It tastes.
Oh, the Jello ones. God damn, I forgot about that. I just realized what you were talking about. Yeah, those were weird. Those are weird as fuck.
Yeah, it tastes like a lot of the things that I just listed off. It tastes mostly of like banana pudding with the vanilla wafers in it.
Sure.
That's what it mostly tastes like. You get a little bit of that super vanilla icing sweetness in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a brewery that has the balls to admit to making this piece of shit?
It's my wonderful best friends down at Abjuration Brewing.
I thought so.
They love to make a goof 'em up, because this is, I believe, this might actually be their 10th year.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe this is part of like kind of their birthday series of beers that they brewed. But their birthday also just happens to be around mine. So now I get to drink a birthday beer.
Well, here's what I'll say, because I'm in the holiday spirit, Steve. I like that you like it.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. My friend has a nice beer he likes. That's what I'll say.
I don't even call it a beer. It's
gloop glop. It's slop. He's got a slop that he's drinking. Just slurping on a little slop.
This is gloopest to the glopest. Like you said, when I first poured it, there was very, very little head on it. Yeah. Like very, very little. But like this is based off Abjuration's kind of like classic sour base. And it's a really good base that they've created, because it takes on any flavor that they want it to. It's amazing. They've made beers that taste like Hill's slushies, which is fucking crazy. They make beers that taste like ice cream. They make beers that taste like root beer. They knock it out of the park with just this one.
They've made the tofu of sour beers that they can just apply any flavor to.
Yeah, and it fucking rules.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm not going to drink it. In fact, I'm drinking the exact opposite, I think, of that. I'm drinking, I don't know if you've heard of this brewery before. I think they're out of Milwaukee. It's called Miller Brewing Company, and they got a beer called Miller High Life. And I'm told it's the champagne of beers. That's what I'm sipping on tonight.
So you serve so whole. I got things in my throat up there.
Well, in your defense, you are swallowing just like melted gushers.
Yes, I am swallowing melted gushers. It Miller, just no imagination. Yeah. They're just putting a couple things in a vat, and they're like, I guess we'll do the same thing again.
They're like,
here it comes again.
Hops. Fucking idiots making beer out of malt and hops. It's nothing special, but here's what I was just experiencing. I was just watching my Pittsburgh Steelers get the absolute dog shit kicked out of them by the Bills. And I just got real frustrated. And I said, here, this is what we're going to do. We're going to drink about 4 or 5 of these real fast. So that's what your boy's on right now, on this beautiful peek under the tent here. We're recording the Sunday night before this releases. And like I said, that game's still going on. And I had to walk away from it. So I'm going to drink on these little High Lifes, these little slurpy little champagnes. That's my plan. But I'm about to get into the holiday season here with this, not only with this movie, but Stephen, we are but one scant week away from our big holiday show, which is, of course, our secret Satan showdown. Do you want to give the Boils and Ghouls a little rundown at home about how this is going to play out, if they're new to the show, perhaps?
Yeah, so it'll be Brian and I and a guest. And I believe our guest is going to be Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast. Like I mentioned, I was on his show in October for their Halloween kind of specialty times. So Jason's going to come on, and then we've let our patrons unleash upon us a trove of secret Satan gifts. And the one problem is, being kind of producer and host at the same time, I do get a peek under the gift wrapping, and so I know what some of the gifts are, but I don't know who they're going to yet.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But I can give the audience maybe a couple clues.
Okay.
About I'll give 2 clues about some movies we'll be watching for next week.
This is like the equivalent of rattling the old box around. You're holding the box, but it's wrapped up tight. But maybe you can get a little idea of the weight, little idea of the shape, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So clue number 1, movie number 1. There's a lot of pastry abusey in it.
Oh, no. I know exactly what it is. That sucks. I hope I don't get that movie, but it is festive. For those of you who don't know what that is,
they'll find out soon enough.
Words there. A little play on words there.
Movie number 2, and this one's a little more cryptic, but Santa has deemed all the girls to be naughty. All the girls are naughty.
All the girls are naughty. Okay. All right. Interesting. Well, guys, like I said, next week we are going to do our Secret Satan Showdown. It'll be like our Showdown episodes, but instead of us picking individual movies associated with the topic, we got the Secret Satan selections that are given to us by our Secret Satans, which are, of course, our Patreon, collective Patreon listeners. So join us next week with where we have a guest, and we do the Secret Satans, and we unwrap things, and we talk, we talk about them movies, and then, listen, we do our best, because obviously these aren't movies we pick, but it's always a lot of fun. Also, I'll tell you what, I'm getting excited, because when we kick off the new year after the holiday season in January, I've got some stuff planned for our patrons and for Steven with our Patreon exclusive podcast. Steven, why don't you tell them how that works? And then maybe I'll give you a little hint, because I'm not going to reveal quite yet, because we do have one more episode for December to go, where we've already talked about we're going to be doing a little Andrew Dice Clay joint for December. Why don't you tell them what's going on, and then I'll give you a little additional hint, because I gave you a slight hint, I think, last week.
Yeah. So you jump on patreon.com/HalloweenIsForever. You sign up for $5. And what that gets you is it gets you on the Discord, watching episodes happen live. It gets you reviews and recos. Load up for yourself through the holiday season, so you don't have to go a minute without not watching something you want to watch. You get all kinds of other goodies and gabs on there, but on top of it all, you get an exclusive monthly podcast. And right now, we're in the throes of the ends of our 90s is Forever podcast, where we go back and look at terrible 90s comedies that have horror stars and horror directors in them, and they are made on cocaine, and they are awful, and they don't make a whole lot of sense. We just put up episode 9 for November, which was Baby Ghost from 1995. Perhaps one of the worst films ever marketed as a film.
Yeah, it is. That's the thing about it, is there are worse films. I mean, listen, we've talked about long-term listeners who have been listening to us for 5+ years now. They will know that we've talked about movies like Fish Piss, and some may argue, they might say, boys, Fish Piss isn't even a fucking movie. And you know what? I would listen to that argument. There's probably a valid argument there. This movie, Baby Ghost, is undeniably a movie. And as far as undeniable actual movies go, this is up there. up there in terms of the absolute worst. I mean, really alongside a movie, this movie seems like it was made for like, I'm going to say $2,500 over a weekend. And I actually think it's not quite as bad as the multi-million-dollar film starring Carrot Top that we watched the month prior. So you get an idea of the absolute level of dregs, the level of just like, it's the dog shit that's mixed at the bottom of the trash can with like spilt soda, and then it's like fermented into a slurry that is ungodly in its nature.
Yeah, and then it's pissed on by a homeless man. The thing that I always
syrupy homeless piss.
Yeah, the thing I find baffling about Baby Ghost is that, along those other lines of bad films we watched, the other one that comes up a lot is the Great Halloween Puppy Adventure.
No.
And that one is clearly some sort of tax dodge.
Sure.
In that, allegedly, and don't sue me, Eric Roberts, but it's in some way it is doing some sort of tax dodge or scam, because it just gets a couple name actors in it and they get to, I don't know, maybe throw this down as reasons why they get to stay in SAG and keep their good health care, something like that. Sure. So it's some sort of dodge or scam or grift, and that's fine. But Baby Ghost, I don't think it did anything for anybody.
No, no money changed hands, except for maybe like, the actors maybe made $150-$200. I don't think it helped anybody. I think it only did harm to folks.
Yeah.
So I would agree with that. It doesn't feel like, if it is a grift, I don't think it was a very fruitful one.
No. The only thing I could also, aside from what I posit in the actual episode as to why that film was made, which go listen to find out what that theory is. But my other theory is it's just mopping up somebody's community service hours.
Yeah, or like it's an alibi for somebody. Yeah. Like I was filming this movie that weekend.
Couldn't have been me, boss. I was on the film set.
I was on the set. I was mopping up, whatever. What's the guy's name? What's the guy? The old guy who was in Plan 9 from Outer Space. Like I imagine
Conrad
he pissed
Brooks.
himself a couple times.
Yeah.
Somebody was probably mopping up his piss.
Yeah. What if though? And we don't bring this up in the episode. What if there's only like 6 people in the whole movie, and you can assume at any one time, there's only one person behind the camera because there's no lighting setup and there's no microphone or anything like that. So there's just 7 people in an empty office park building.
Mm-hmm.
What if they actually are stealing from that office park?
Oh, could be.
Because that's a subplot in the film that like these 2 jamokes from New Jersey bust in to rob the place. But what if they actually are just robbing the place as they make the movie?
So they have an excuse to be there.
Yeah.
And then when they're not, and then while they're filming in one area of the building, somebody's out, stealing copper wire in the other area of the building.
Yeah. Like they're not pulling off a bank heist. They're just stripping copper wire out of the basement.
Yeah. They're just doing like scumbag shit. This isn't fucking Ocean's 11 here. Could be. You be the judge, guys. Go over to patreon.com/Halloween is forever. And you can listen to not only 90s is forever, you can go back to our 2 original 10 episode Patreon exclusive podcast series. First, Steve made me watch all the Fast and the Furious movies, and that made me mad. So then I made Steve watch 10 of these like right-wing Christian propaganda horror movies that were fucking terrible about how you're going to hell if you jack off or if you're gay or whatever, if you disrespect your parents' cooking or something. And then Steve made me watch all these dog shit 90s comedy movies with some horror ties to them. So one more, we're going to do the Adventures of Ford Fairlane in December. And then it's your boy's turn once again. And I have a fun little idea that I've decided on. And I'll give you a hint. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Think of who my number 1 nemesis is, right?
Okay.
And I am going to use this series to my advantage to once and for all take down my nemesis. That's my plan.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to go for. That's what we're going to go for. I see Dan here in the Discord. He might be on the right track. But I'm going to use this to once and for all take him down, get him off of all our backs. That's what I'm going to try to do with this podcast series. So go over there to the like I said, not just the Discord, but go over to the Patreon and sign up and give us $5 a month. You can learn more about it. All right. Anything else before we jump into this dang old movie?
Nope. We can get on with the Christmasing.
All right. And listen, and I'm watching a Christmas movie right now. In the backgroround, FYI, just so you know where my head's at, I'm watching Lady Vengeance, which is a Christmas movie. Don't forget.
Yep.
But also, I am specifically watching the part when they're in jail and the really big mean lady is making the other one go down on her. That's actually what's happening in the background right now. So I'm really in the holiday season, if you know, where she's in jail and all that. So we're really in the holiday spirit. I wanted to talk about a movie called Letters to Satan Claus. We already talked about this. Is directed by Emma Jean Sutherland. The only other movie on here that she has a directorial credit for is After the Storm, which is apparently a straight to TV, it was made for TV 2019 like romance movie. And then assistant director on some other movies that seem kind of also, I guess, Hallmarky. I won't say all of them are because I don't know any of them, but there is one called Christmas with a Prince, who that very much looks like a Hallmark type movie, which is interesting because this movie is I thought, very strong, thoughtful spoof on the Hallmark Christmas movie. So she's quite experienced with the Hallmark romances, and then made for TV Hallmark romance, but made it silly and made it about people getting killed by Satan. Steven, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you mentioned you were not familiar with this before I kind of put it on your radar. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I had never heard of this. I believe because it was like a SyFy original. And
SyFy original.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been watching SyFy originals in a long time.
Yeah, no, and me neither, right? So this is just one that like popped up on one of those lists of underrated Christmas horror movies. I love a holiday horror movie. And this one popped up. I'm like, damn, I never even heard of that one. And then I was like, this sounds kind of fun. And, people talked about it as being underrated and yada, yada. Okay, cool. I couldn't find this fucking movie, right? Now, currently, I believe it is streaming on a couple of places. But when I watched it a couple of weeks ago, it was nowhere. Unless you had like a subscription to SyFy streaming service, which I do not have, and refused to purchase. I found it on Daily Motion, however. So I ended up watching it on Daily Motion. Now, since then, we're getting a little closer to the holiday season. It is streaming on a couple of platforms that are, for free platforms out there. Yeah, I just saw somewhere today when I looked it up. It was a one. Let me look it up. Letters.
Because I was looking for it and I couldn't find it any fucking where. It's not on Prime. It's not on Apple. It's not on Plex.
No,
like there's this terrible thing that has happened with streaming services in that they keep up websites for films that are not available anymore. So you're still on their dumb platform and maybe you'll click through to something else that they're hosting. Mm-hmm. So like it's a whole bunch of bamboozle on the internet that's going on. But no, I couldn't find this film anywhere, and I too just watched it on Daily Motion.
Yeah, so it's on streaming platform. It's also on SyFy streaming platform. But there was a third one that I saw today that I've never heard of.
A secret third thing.
A secret thing. And it was on a secret third thing. It wasn't Plex, but it was one of those, free with 10,000 ads type situations. Mm-hmm. So, it's not very much out there. And I will tell you, there are way, like, this is no masterpiece, but this is a fun movie that I would absolutely suggest you watch. and is 100 times better than 75% of the Christmas horror movies that are on Tubi right now. I guarantee you. The Killing Tree and that sort of dog shit that we've talked about in the past. This is Shawshank Redemption compared to that, right?
Yeah. I originally, you pitched this to me last week, and you're like, it's kind of okay. It's more of like a Hallmark parody. I don't know if we should do it. I'm like, no, we should do it because you told me the premise, and the premise is about somebody just writing a letter to Satan as a kid, and I don't know if you'd seen it, but that movie from last year with Jack Black is the same fucking premise.
Yeah. So whenever you look up something about it, you pretty much see the Jack Black movie come up. So I wonder if they wrote the script, or if there was some sort of not confusion, but somebody sold the script to somebody else, or they had this script and then they said, oh shit, this is very close to your script. Maybe we just pay you money so you don't, you know what I mean? So you don't put this movie up. Who knows? I have no idea.
I think it was like, because I mean, this film obviously takes a far different direction than the Jack Black film, because this one, rejoins the protagonist when she's an adult, whereas the Jack Black film follows the kid, directly after he writes a letter to Satan. And that film is fucking intolerable compared to this one.
I did not watch it.
I did.
Did not watch it. Yeah.
I gave it a chance because it was directed and written by the Farrelly brothers.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be better, but they don't know how to make movies anymore, the Farrelly brothers.
They simultaneously both suffered some sort of massive head trauma around the same time. Both forgot how to make movies. I'm not sure.
They've imploded, but that Jack Black film feels like it was actually more written by AI. It is fucking stupid. It is unfunny. It doesn't capitalize on any of the amazing tools and things you could set up by having Satan as a sort of protagonist character. And it just, it just sucks. This movie is funny because
it is genuinely funny. Yeah. Mostly because of the lead's performance, but
the lead's performance is great. The way she delivers lines is amazing. But there are just some genuinely funny ways that it parodies the Hallmark films. That, like you mentioned, the director has experience writing for that, writing and directing for that genre. So she knows all the tropes. And I'm sure the writer on this film, his name's Michael Zara. He doesn't have a whole lot of writing credits, but I assume he's been a part of like some of those writers' rooms and just like understands the genre very well, because it all comes together in a very funny parody that I found tolerable when I don't watch those movies at all.
Yeah. Yeah, you could 100%. They know the material. They know what people who watch these movies are going to find funny and what they find so silly about the genre. Like I always joke about how my wife and kids and I will put on some of these Hallmark movies in the background, like we're not paying attention. My kids are playing like Roblox, and like my wife and I are like on our phone. Like none of us are paying attention, but a Hallmark movie will be on in the background, and then we'll just laugh about how something stupid that they do. My oldest and I, like, we will sit and watch an entire one and just make fun of it the whole time, Sure. So we know these tropes, and they know, what we find funny about them. So, it's really, really well done. And honestly, the performances across the board, I think, are really good. We talked about the lead, who's Karen Knox. She plays Holly Frost, aka Holly Winter. She's fucking hilarious. She actually makes stuff that's, lines that could just be throwaways funny. Like she's genuinely very funny. I think the other person who's quite funny in this too, although she's not in it a ton, is Faith. So I'm looking here and I'm going off topic a little bit, but the boyfriend from high school, whose name's Chris Kringle. Is it Chris Pringle?
It's Chris Pringle. Yeah.
I completely missed that when I'm watching it. I did not hear them say Pringle one time.
I know.
I thought they were saying
It doesn't
Pringle.
sound like it. Yeah. It just. Yeah.
Because I'm just seeing now in Letterboxd with the credits, Chris Pringle and Faith Pringle. And I'm like, that's insane that I didn't pick up on that. I just heard Kringle. Anyway, Jessica Clement, who plays Faith Pringle, is pretty funny in it as well. Chad Pringle, the cousin, who's like her best friend from high school. He's funny. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of people that are really, really funny in this movie. And it's actually quite a large cast. Which is kind of crazy. You would expect not to be the case in this movie, but it is a horror comedy, right? Because it's a parody of these Hallmark movies and it's making fun of them. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the movie a little bit. We'll talk about some of the performances, unless there's somebody you want to talk about at the top before we jump into it.
No, not really. I did just want to point out that like Jessica Clement is in that she plays one of the daughters in the Nick Cage film. What was it? Dream Scenario? Yeah, Dream Scenario.
Okay. Yeah, she's in. I mean, she's the only person in here that I immediately recognized. Interestingly enough, Karen Knox has not been in that many films, but she's really funny. And I have not seen her in anything else, but I am hopeful that I'll see her in more soon. She's also a director and writer, but she's really, really funny. Jessica Clement is in a ton of stuff. I just saw her we just saw her in Night of the Reaper.
That's right. She was Dina in that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then a perennial Christmas favorite anthology, 2015's A Christmas Horror Story. She's in that as well. She's in a bunch of genre things, not like a significant amount of genre things. So you'll recognize her probably. And then I don't really think anybody else or they actually went out and got people who do a lot of these like made for TV romance movies. Like the guy who plays Chris Pringle, that's, primarily where his credits are.
Yeah.
So they do have people who kind of live in that space.
Yeah. There are people who just live there. So, but again, that adds to their performance because they know what they're doing. Like they know what they're going for. So, yeah.
And he played the type of character he probably plays in those other movies, which is like the hunk. He's just a dang old hunk.
Yeah. The many-jobbed hunk.
Yeah, which is a funny bit. We'll get into it. But anyway, it starts out like kind of the cold open is Holly as a kid, and she's a little let's say she's a little aggressive, right? She's a little she's not tolerant of her parents' excuses in regards to them not wanting to buy her desired Christmas present. She's like, hey, go get me this thing. It's only $79.99 or whatever. And they're like, right off the bat, we get these tropes about, what happens growing up in a Hallmark Christmas movie, which is essentially what happened to her, where like the candy cane factory laid off their dad, so they can't, they can't. I forget what it is. It's like the Chris something factory that has something to do with Christmas, and then I think it's her mom's like
I think he works at the Christmas tree factory, and she is an ice sculptor, and so they're both seasonal work.
Yeah, which is everyone in this movie again. Trope in the Hallmark type movies, or it could be American whatever, like the weird Christian nationalist version of Hallmark is. I forget what it's called. It's like American Movies or some shit. I don't know.
Great American Movies.
American Movie Channel, I think. Yeah. They always have my dad grew up as a candy cane twister, like those are their type of jobs. So they can't afford to get her a present that she wants. So she decides to go write a letter to Santa saying, basically like punish my parents, take my parents away. They're terrible parents. But she did a little typo. Right, as a kid, writing her little letter in crayon. Instead of Santa, she accidentally misspells it and writes Satan. So she puts the letter in the little, Santa mailbox, and it starts smoking and all types of bad stuff happens. Anyway, it ends up going to, you guessed it, our boy Satan. That's the origin. That's kind of her origin story. Now, flash forward to her as a big city reporter, right? Which that's where the women in these movies are always from the big city, having to go back to either their hometown or some sort of rural community where they find some small town hunk to get them to forget their big city job and concentrate on baking and whatever, right? And live happily ever after with them. This is, besides being written, it is also shot very much like a Hallmark Christmas movie. Mm-hmm. Like the lighting, the just everywhere you look is just exploding with Christmas decorations, like every single scene pretty much. So again, this is where them knowing the genre and knowing what it takes to make a movie look like this comes in handy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that super high key, soft lighting. Just everything is decorated to the hilt. Everything is a set, and it just looks like those films. So yeah, it's great. I'm down with it.
Yeah, they make it look great, and the production value is good. It's not like it's an enormous budget movie, but they make it look really good. They make it look like a Hallmark Christmas movie. The joke in this movie that or the premise that is, a lot of the jokes stem from, is that Holly was born in this town of Ornament, which is hilarious. The town is like, because it's always called like Winter Valley, some like Evergreen Falls, stuff like that, and they just call it Ornament, which is in and of itself funny, right? But she grew up in Ornament. She moved to the big city, which they never say what big city it is. They just say the big city, to be a reporter, and when we're jumping ahead a little bit, but you get the premise. She has to go back to Ornament to report on something, and everyone is living in a Hallmark Christmas movie except for her, essentially, right? That's the premise. And her friends and colleagues who she's talking to back in the big city. So it's 22 years later. They start out that she's kind of, you get the idea she's like a pretty ruthless reporter. She goes in and catches like a high-end restaurant using frozen fish, and you just see her like walk in with a wig on, and you're not sure what she's doing, and then you learn that she's getting this scoop, right? But this is kind of her vibe, and she delivers these lines really great. She walks past a woman in a Santa outfit, kind of like the person on the street collecting for the Salvation Army or something, and she's like, something like, naughty or nice, little girl. And she goes, I'm a grown-ass woman, bitch. And then the woman goes, that's not very Christmassy. So right off the bat, you get the tone.
Brian, unfortunately, I don't think you've smoked enough cigs to really deliver the punch of that line, because it's really a Mo Sizlak in a Christmas costume, just standing there, naughty and nice, honey.
Yeah, it is Mo Sizlak. She's like, I'm a grown-ass woman, bitch. And she's like, that's not very Christmassy. So she's a reporter. She's also like an alcoholic, borderline sociopath, and is always just like, has no filter, right? So like, she's the reporter, and they want to put her on, the anchor desk. They want to be, the one anchor. It's a man-woman team that are the lead anchors on the news channel. The woman is pregnant. It's the other anchor's child, and they're basically saying like, we don't care. We're kicking her off because she's too pregnant and people don't want to see pregnant people. like they're just completely ruthless about it.
This character is great. It's her boss at the station. His name is Kevin Kevins. That's his character's name.
I didn't know it's Kevin Kevins.
Yeah, it's Kevin Kevins. It's played by an actor by the name of Daniel Cash, who, like, he's been in a lot of stuff. I think one of his very first credits, though, is Private Spunkmeyer in Aliens. So he's one of the it's like his very first credit. He's one of the lesser colonial Marines. But yeah, he's been in a whole ton of like genre shit. It just look at his IMDb, you'll find something you've probably seen him in. But yeah, his line is so fucking great because he's going on about the pregnant news anchor, and he's like, he goes to the effect of like, pregnancies make people uncomfortable, including me. And then Holly says, yeah, but she's behind the desk all the time. Nobody will know. And he goes, I'll know.
Yeah, he just doesn't give a shit. Like, he's not trying to hide his like animosity towards her for being pregnant. I think he even says something, I'm paraphrasing, he's like, you'll never subject yourself to pregnancy or something like that. Yeah, he's great. And Holly, he and Holly are like kind of on the same page. They think very similarly. At one point, Karen, who I think that's what her name is, or Christy. I'm sorry, Christy. Is the anchor that's getting canned for being pregnant. She goes, please don't give me that war on Christmas face, Christy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's going to be the other anchor woman. But they're like, before that, she's got to go cover this super Christmassy, all the happenings in Ornament, which is like the most Christmassy place in the world, which Holly grew up in. Her name is Holly Winter, but just to be for no explained apparent reason, she changed her name to Holly Frost, which is such a non-change, which is the joke because everyone goes, oh, it's Holly Winter. And she goes, it's Holly Frost now. And she's like, oh, you got married? Who'd you get married to? She's like, I didn't get married. She just changed her name to Holly Frost.
Yeah.
For no reason.
And then somebody even just directly points out, it's like, that's not much of a change then, is it? She's like, no, it's different. And then just storms off.
Yeah. There's a few like just ongoing jokes like that that are great. So she has to go to Ornament. She has to go back to her hometown. You know, they even kind of set it up where Kevin's like, hey, while you're there, maybe you'll fall in love. And she's like, oh, fucking gross. Like, she's like just sickened by the whole thing. She gets introduced, well, not introduced, but she has to travel with Sam, who's a cameraman. And at first when she sees him, she's like very smitten by him because he's like, again, hunk, Hallmark looking hunk. But then she sees his cross earring and she's like, ah, fuck. She's like just immediately turned off by his cross earring. And he has a dead wife who, when she asked him, like, what, again, this is a Hallmark movie trope. What does she die of? He's like, cancer. She's like, ah, what kind of cancer? He's like, just cancer.
Yeah.
It's not like a specific type because they would never get that specific in Hallmark movies, but he's just dumb as fuck. And she's just, she's like, he's hot. She like wants to fuck him, but he's just like a dumb moron. So, but the actor who plays him, the way he delivers the lines, he's very funny as well. He just delivers the lines as like this airhead, hunk kind of guy. So she they shows up in Ornament. She falls asleep, wakes up, they're in Ornament. Immediately, cameraman Sam is just like smitten with the whole thing. There's snow flurries, there's joyous music playing, and she just fucking hates it. Like, the first thing that happens, she gets out of the car with all this joyous music playing and everyone walking around doing Christmassy things and like saying hello to everybody. These people like bump into her in the street. She's like, get the fuck out of the way. Like, she's like the one character who doesn't belong in this town, right?
There's even like they're doing establishing shots of Ornament of like everybody who's like, in the Christmas spirit. And then there's just this weird cutaway to a kid who has a cup of hot chocolate and he has marshmallow fluff literally all over his face. Like they painted it just all over his face and it's all over the cup. It's just like it's gross for no reason. It's just like, look at this kid being yuck, and then they just keep moving. It's never addressed or anything. It's just in there.
This movie is the type of like low budget comedy that I love, in that it's just funny people in the writer's room writing funny things and then go, oh, yeah, let's just fucking put it in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll just make it like that guy, the kid with the fucking fluff all over his face. Somebody was like, that'd be funny. Let's do that. And they just throw it in there. Complete non sequitur.
This is the one thing about this movie that it feels kind of apparent, especially in retrospect. But so we have a director who she doesn't have a whole lot of credits, and we have a writer. He doesn't have a whole lot of credits. And they're contracted to do a sci-fi film. And this feels very unsupervised is the way this film is. Which is what allows it to be funny. Because it is just generally unsupervised. They delivered a product is all they had to do. Deliver us something within the time of a scheduled sci-fi movie block that we can load commercials into, and it makes sense, and it's not too terrible one way or the other, and we're fine with it. Like we're SyFy. We play Lavalantula. Fuck you. We don't care.
we don't give a shit. Just deliver us something like tolerable and we're good. And they over-delivered because they, again, they stayed out of their way. This movie, the first time I watched it, I kind of like, I had it on the background, like half paying attention to it, and I would see stuff pop up and be like, oh, this looks fun. That's why I texted you about it. This time I watched it, obviously intently and took notes, and I'm like, this movie's fucking great. I absolutely am charmed by this movie the entire time. The coffee shop couple, it's just like two teens that work in the coffee shop. And of course, because they're in this Hallmark town, they're like this weird puritanical teens that all they care about is like caroling and, making, cutesy Christmas coffee drinks, except for then all of a sudden we realize like the one, it's like a man and a woman. The woman's like super horny and she's like trying to get the guy to like fuck after hours and stuff.
Yeah. Do you know those characters' names?
Yes, I did. I didn't write them down, but I made a note of them. What are they? What are they?
The female's name is Candace, and the male's name is Cameron.
Nice. I love it. Obviously, our good old friend Candace Cameron Berg, which I think she's one of the ones that jumped ship, went over to the Jesus-y station, didn't she?
Yeah, she was. So I looked it up because, this film, especially with the way it ends, has some very non-Hallmark things about it.
Oh, big time, yeah.
And, as we know, something we joked about on Youth Group is Forever even, is that Candace Cameron Bure was a big Hallmark star with Danica McKellar and one other woman I'm forgetting.
Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years.
Yeah, and one other woman I'm forgetting because who cares? Yeah. They all jumped ship from Hallmark because Hallmark started featuring some gays in it. And boy, they couldn't have that.
They're convinced that their God does not like the gays, or in more to the point, they have subscribed to a brand of Christianity that has told them that God doesn't like gays, and it gives them an excuse to not like them and make decisions based on that. So yeah, they went over to this dog shit channel. I mean, it's all dog shit, but this is like homophobic dog shit too.
This is extra dog shit because it's more Jesus-y and extra anti-gay. So I looked it up though. The interesting thing is though, this movie came out before she made that leap. So I was just in my notes. I was like, maybe this is the movie that made her actually leave Hallmark, and it's just as an idiot, and she got confused. Like
she thought this was a real Hallmark movie.
Yeah, she's like, Hallmark's putting this thing out that it glorifies Satan and the homos. I can't be a part of this channel anymore.
I really want Hallmark to go full Satan though. That'd be fucking sick.
Please.
Never happening, but maybe we do our own spinoff. It's the complete opposite of the Great American Movie Channel or whatever. It's like just straight up satanic Christmas movies year round.
Satanic or even like super dark atheistic, like European type of just like celebrating like Danish Yule, and it's just a fucking poorly lit feast and nobody talks.
Pagan, like just naked dancing and whipping each other with herbs around a fire. So back to the coffee shop couple. No, we'll get back to them in a minute. The mayor, whose name's Danica, which, hey, we just named that. She is the mayor. She runs around with a sash on that says mayor, too, which is
funny.
Which is a funny bit. There is this rivalry where Holly and her really don't get along, and she's like the perfect, Hallmark, Hallmark town person, and Holly obviously isn't. Oh, by the way, this was really funny. I thought I watched this as you did on Daily Motion. I don't know if you were getting some of the same commercials that I was getting, but I was getting all these like holiday lottery commercials, like holiday themed scratch off commercials and stuff like that.
Nope.
And it just had such a similar vibe to the movie. No. It was like, oh yeah, I was getting a bunch of those.
No, I Brian, have an ad block. Yeah. and I use it on certain sites, especially Daily Motion, because they are too egregious with their ad breaks.
They are. It's intense. So we get Danica's hot cousin, who's Chris Pringle, and his wife also just died. So all the hunks, the joke is their wife just died, because that's a trope in the Hallmark movies. Because the question is, how would you get this kid, this hunk? Why is he single? And the answer, the most convenient answer is, well, he wasn't. His wife died.
And he's just not ready to get back out there. So that's why nobody else has scooped him up either.
Right. Or his heart is frozen, because of this tragedy that he's undergone. And of course, only the protagonist can pull him out of this funk. But his wife died too. But in this show, this one, it was a hot air balloon accident, which is a funny Hallmark way to die. But the joke also that made the punch up that they made was, they were like, oh, did it, burst into flames? He's like, oh no, it just fell on her. It
fell on top of her. It's like, oh, okay.
So she was crushed by a hot air balloon. We keep getting these little bits of flashbacks to Holly. You figure out pretty quickly it's Holly when she was little and her sister. And you first get them when she's going to stay with her sister, because all the hotels are booked up because of the big, all the holiday events happening in town. He goes and stays with her sister, who's named Cookie, and which is a great name too. And they get there, and she gets this flashback, and it's her and her sister as when they were kids, and then they come down on Christmas morning, and they find something horrible has happened, but we don't know quite yet. We're getting little tidbits of this. Something traumatic on Christmas with her sister, again, who's named Cookie.
In case nobody's picked up on the fact that basically everybody in this film is named after something Christmassy, with the exception of the Candace Cameron couple.
Yeah. Cookie has a Christmas sweater sewing company in the attic, by the way. Holly finds the letter that she wrote as a kid in with all the stuff, at Cookie's house, and she realizes that she misspelled it Satan. So she said, oh, okay, well, now we're starting to put some pieces together. Not yet, but we got some puzzle pieces in the pocket we'll put together later. And then we get a flashback to when they went and opened their presents on Christmas morning. There were body parts in them. Oh no. Well, it turns out it was their parents. So, we know now probably what happened. Satan done come and killed the parents and cut them up and put them in boxes for the kids to open on Christmas morning. We get introduced to Chad and Joy. Chad is Holly's best friend from when she was a kid, and Joy is the mayor's assistant. So they kind of become a couple of friends of Holly's immediately. They just hang out and have these like long dialogues in the coffee shop, which is a very common thing in these Hallmark Christmas movies. And also Chad works for her aunt now. So her aunt is like owns a bakery. But then also is like in charge of a lot of the holiday happenings around town. Like she is in charge of all the carolers, and she's a pretty interesting character, which we will meet here in a few minutes. We get introduced to Chris Pringle himself, and then Faith Pringle, which is his teenage daughter, and she's like this weird, like infantilized weirdo. Who, we learn has been like traumatized by her mom dying in the hot air balloon accident.
Yeah. I think it's nearly impossible for this actress to actually be the daughter of this actor.
Oh yeah, he looks like he's maybe like in his mid 30s and she's in like her late 20s.
Yeah, I was trying to find, like, nobody really has their ages listed for obvious reasons when you're acting.
Yeah.
Except for Mayor Danica. Mayor Danica was born in 1987, and Faith was born in 1995. So literally, and like basically all the adults are about the same age as Mayor Danica. So you can imagine, like, there's really only 8 years between this infantilized, giant child, because she's like tall too. Like, she's not a small girl.
No, you would see this and be like, this is a grown woman. She's in her mid to late 20s.
Yeah, like, you are out of college and you have a job.
Yeah. But she's like, Holly's like, very turned off by her immediately because she's so weird. And she even says at one point, "You don't believe in love or Santa? What's the point in living?" So that's kind of her mentality. We get introduced to the aunt. What's the aunt's name? I forgot to write down her first name. It's
Aunt Becky.
Aunt Becky, yes. Aunt Becky. We learn her story. She's lost 162 pounds in the last year from basically praying and starving herself. But also, she's a baker, and she joked how she would sample all of her treats, and that's why she, was unhealthy and blah, 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 whatever. But she has lost all this weight because she's convinced herself that all of her cookies, who are like, gingerbread men and angels and stuff like that, are her actual children. She's convinced that is the like weird mental gymnastics she plays to like, starve herself and lost 162 pounds. Another ongoing joke, which is funny, is everything bad in the town they blame on vaping teens.
It's so fucking weird. Like, it feels exactly like one of those things that would be written into like just any kind of I don't know, right-wingy type thing.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, the teens are out there vaping again. They're on their vape.
Yeah. So every single time anything is unexplained, it's probably the vaping teens, whether it makes sense to blame a vaping teen or not. They're just the scapegoats for everything.
And you only see them once, I think. Like, that's the other thing.
And they're just standing around vaping, and they're like, get the fuck out of here, vaping teens.
Yeah, they're immediately assailed just from standing on the street.
They're just standing. They're not bothering anybody. Also, they're like the same age as everybody else.
That too, like, they're also adults.
Yeah. So they have to go and cover all these happenings around Ornament. Holly is usually drinking, in some capacity. At one event where they're writing letters to Santa, she gets hammered and then writes another kind of joke letter, in this case to Satan, basically saying like, you're a piece of shit, fuck you, whatever. You can have Christmas, whatever kind of thing. Holly then finally she's hammered. She tries to fuck the cameraman in the van. He's like not ready because his wife died, and she just like makes fun of him and calls him a pussy and like leaves the van. She's just horrible to him. Makes fun of his cross earring. She's like, my daughter gave me this. He's like, you look like an idiot. Like, she's just railing on him.
Just runs him down. Like, for whatever reason, and it's just being silly again, but it's just he has a picture of his dead wife on the back door of his van. So like so it comes in perfect view when she shuts the door ready to fuck him. And he's just like, I just can't. I feel like I might be cheating on her. It's like, whatever. Yeah. So she's pissed off. She goes stumbling drunk down an alleyway, and she finds a Darby Dream Wagon, which Darby is obviously is Barbie. So she has it's a Power Wheels, a little pink Power Wheels Jeep, and she gets in it and she's driving it around drunkenly, just being dumb, crashes it, gets pulled over by these two cops, and they're brothers, and they're Joy's brothers as well, and they are like the two cops in town are like a big brother and little brother.
and they're, these two hunks, especially the younger brother. He's like big, tall, hunky guy. And she's like, oh, hey, she's like just saying a ton of inappropriate shit to him. And he's like, very childish because he's like kind of Hallmarky. And he's like, bet she's like slurring her speech, hammered. She's like, bet your parents are pretty hot too. And he goes, they're dead. And she's like, samesies, like in a sexy way.
Yeah. She has so many great line deliveries in this. Just two more things about this scene that I really like. One, when she gets pulled over, she does this kind of turn around and look up at the big cop who is Sheriff Noel Reef. She does this turn around and look up at him, and every time I didn't really catch it until this moment because it's so out of place. But every time she runs into a new hunk, the strings cue up in the soundtrack.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like, oh, she's found her man type thing.
Yeah.
And so like it happened earlier in the film, I'm assuming, just because it makes sense as a rule of three joke. But it made sense in those other two scenes because like it was more holiday themed. We're in a dark, dirty alley, and like there's nothing like sexy or festive going on. She also has an amazing line delivery when she crashes the dream truck because I don't know, it's just a very funny framing and everything. She just runs it headlong into a dumpster, crashes it, and then she just, oh, bummer.
Yeah. A grown woman in a fucking Power Wheels, right?
Yeah.
Pink Power Wheels.
Knees up to her ears, just drunkenly yelling.
Party rockin', coming in at 9 o'clock. Summer.
Just one more thing though. We've gone through 3 hunks now.
Yeah.
And all 3 of these hunks are in Christmas movies on Hallmark or TV or elsewhere. And I just feel like we should look at some of their titles, Brian.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know you love these titles. So let's jump back to Cameraman Sam. And some of his titles. He's most recently in 2025 was in A Christmas Cookbook.
Yes, there's always cooking. There's always baking. There's always that sort of stuff. Yep, that's pretty common.
Yeah, he was also in Well Suited for Christmas, which seems to be about fashion.
Yep.
He was in.
If you tell me the title, I'll tell you what it's about, even if I've seen it or not.
He was in Snowbound for Christmas.
Yeah, it's somebody getting snowed into some sort of cabin in the mountains or whatever, and having to spend time with each other, even though they don't get along at first.
And then both...
I've never seen it, but I guarantee that's what it's about.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
And then both him and Chris Pringle were in Christmas Catch in 2018.
Ooh, wonder if Christmas Catch could be a few things, because it's always punny. So it could either be something with sports, like you're catching something, or it could be something with fishing. It's got to be one or the other.
I feel like it's neither, and it's just stupidly like getting a good Christmas boyfriend. It's just cuffing season.
That sucks.
Oh, no. Oh, no, it's better. Oh, no, it's one we didn't think of. This is great. A small town policewoman falls for a suspected diamond thief. So he's the catch.
There we go.
Yeah.
He's the catch.
Yeah, she's catching him. But yeah.
I'll say there is a play on words. There has to be.
Yeah.
They don't just use words like catch for no reason.
Who was it? Oh, yeah. Chris Pringle. He's in Christmas Catch as well. And then he's in Christmas Wedding Runaway.
Sure.
He's also in Snowbound for Christmas. And most recently, he's in A Brush with Christmas.
Oh, A Brush with Christmas. Okay, so that's painting. I mean, it's got to be something with painting, an artist.
Yep, you nailed it.
Yep.
And then Sheriff Noel, who we're talking about right now, is played by Michael Xavier. He's in a lot more than Christmas films. But he's still in a couple, and in 2024 he was in Trading Up Christmas.
Yeah, Trading Up Christmas. Okay. What's Trading Up Christmas about? Trading Up Christmas is it's got to be some sort of weird arrangement. I know that's bland, but they like to do these tropes where it's like, oh, a weird situation happened, so now we got to switch lives. You know what I mean? Like they got to do that sort of stuff. So trading up Christmas, I doubt they did anything with like the stock market or a day trader.
Yeah, not that.
It's probably not trading. Oh, I don't know. I give up. Yeah, it's got to be one of those switcheroo type things.
No, this one's wild. This one is about a woman who wants a new home, and so starting with just a Christmas stocking, she tries to trade her way into a new house. So she trades
so
up.
It literally is that thing people do on social media. I was thinking of that phenomenon, but I was like, there's no way they made a whole movie about that.
Yep. Nope. They totally did.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds too ambitious script wise for Hallmark. I bet that was like a Netflix probably not Netflix.
No,
it was Hallmark.
Yeah, that was a pure Hallmark film.
Oh, that was pretty ambitious for Hallmark.
Yeah. Hey, you got to really start engaging the brain, and you can't have gays no more, or you
can't. It's true. Speaking of Sam the cameraman, while this whole, they let her off with a warning, whatever, for, because they're going to give her like a DUI for wrecking the Power Wheels. But meanwhile, Sam the cameraman is the first to get murdered. He is murdered by what appears to be some sort of demon looking, may or may not be Satan, dressed up as a creepy Santa Claus. While he is in his van, but he gets kind of an off-screen death. So she then, they in the morning doesn't know where the Sam is. They find the van, but no Sam. They end up asking Chris Pringle to be the new cameraman because he also teaches audiovisual learning at the local high school.
Yes.
So he has cameraman skills as well. They find the van. It's got a big 666 drawn on the side of it. And that's a little suspicious.
Yeah. That feels like vaping teen. And so they get blamed for it.
Yeah. The vaping teens get blamed again.
Breaking news from the chat though. Dan has actually seen Trading Up for Christmas.
Oh, nice. Is that a new one? Is that
that was 2024. So
2024. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got to seek it out. Sounds ambitious.
Dan says Candace would hate it because the leads were black. So
I said, it was not be pleased.
Yeah, it was Michael Xavier for our current Sheriff Noel in this film.
Yeah, if there's one thing that American Movie Channel does not like is all these un-American black people and un-American gay people and un-American anybody who isn't white. Anyway, so they're I just got a kick out of this. They have to go cover the Hot Cocoa Hoedown, which is just a funny name for an event. Everybody's dressed up like country music kind of thing, but it's a Christmas thing. But it's the Hot Cocoa Hoedown. The next ones to get are the awkward, the Candace and Cameron at the coffee shop because Candace is trying to get Cameron to fuck after the store closes, but then they're attacked by Satan via supernaturally loud Christmas music until their ears bleed, and then they end up jamming candy canes in their own ears. We get the first look at Satan at this point too, which is the mask is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's a little predatory. It's definitely demon-esque, not super traditional Satan, a little bit more demon-y, but with the kind of mandibles that you would see on a predator type monster as well, which is kind of interesting.
It's got a predatory face, and then it's interesting. It's not like fully called out, but it becomes more apparent as the movie goes on that Satan progressively is being played by a woman in this film, and being voiced by a woman's voice. Yes. Yeah. And the chest piece that she's wearing in the costume, you never get a clear look at it, And I think maybe because they edited around it or like punched in on it or something, but it has boobs. It has deflated boobs.
Yeah. Satan has boobs. Satan is a woman. Which, listen, great. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. If I had to give Satan a gender, I'm probably giving it's probably a woman, right? I like that. Anyway, so they're covering the. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Get back to that. Satan has this like weird, almost like a Kirby-ish type of power, like a Kirby villain that sends out these like sound waves that are super loud, I guess, and like I said, damage their eardrums, and then they end up sticking candy canes in their ears and killing themselves, I guess. And meanwhile, the song that they're playing and the song that's played at the hoedown, performed at the hoedown by Mayor Danica, is pretty funny. It's essentially like just a shitty Hallmark Christmas song, performed by the mayor. And I'm not going to do it justice, but it is pretty, intentionally bad, but pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it's one of those.
It's one of those like sexy kind of Christmas songs, like try to be naughty Christmas songs.
Yeah, it's like tongue in cheek naughty, but also just nonsense lyrics as well. It's something that like you just wouldn't be. It just wouldn't be. But they're also not going to pay for licensing rights on anything else either.
Of course not. Right. Of course not. So they're at the next little event, whatever. She goes to, she got some vodka and she's mixing it in with hot cocoa, and she starts choking on something, coughs it up, and it ends up bouncing off Faith Pringle's forehead, and it's cameraman Sam's earring, his little cross earring. Somehow it was in the hot cocoa mix. They're not really sure in the kind of dispenser of hot cocoa. So like, oh no, what happened? Bloody 666 on the van. She also sees a note in this mirror at the coffee shop too, which it says like, I forget, like go fuck yourself or whatever, like written to her from Satan. So she's getting pretty suspicious that it is Satan who is causing these people to disappear and had something to do potentially with her parents. We meet John Smith, who is a farmer, just a local farmer, who Chad has a crush on. So we can get another character thrown in there. Pretty fun little scene with Aunt Becky. She is the one who lost all the weight and has convinced herself that her cookies are her children. But she, after another little interlude with another character, she kind of loses her willpower, bites the arm off of one of her angel cookies, and the cookie immediately starts like crying. And all the other cookies are like, Mommy, you killed Jennifer, which is a really fucked up little scene.
What's happening?
And they're like, bad mommy. And she's just freaking out, having like essentially like a psychotic break. And then we learn that, of course, these hallucinations are the work of Satan, who promptly loads her into the oven and bakes her alive.
Yeah, and just kills her. The interlude she's having is with the sheriff, and he's like auditioning to be part of her caroling troupe, and he does okay, I guess. I don't know. My note was D'Angelo. He is not. But I mean, for a local town singing choir, he should be fine. But like, she rejects him in a way that feels very racist. Like,
yes,
like she's like, oh, we have a tenor. He's
also a bad singer, though.
Yeah, he is. Like, he's also a bad singer.
He's like tone deaf.
Yeah.
It's weird because I got the feeling that she was leading him on, and I wonder if something got cut out here, because we get a reveal about Aunt Becky late in the movie that may or may not hold some weight, but earlier, whenever he meets the sheriff and the deputy, when she's doing the drunk driving with the Darby Dream Wagon, she's like, well, we're going to let you off because, Aunt Becky is your aunt, and she's been so nice to us. And, so he says something about how he's a caroler and he's a wannabe caroler, and she's been so nice to him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she's like buttering him up because he's a cop, And maybe, I don't know. It felt like there was something transactional there. But then when it came down to it, he really is terrible at singing. And she was just like leading him on to get something from him.
She also,
but we never see that happen, really.
Yeah, because she also does give a look that is like, it looks like she's trying to get a look at his ass at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think maybe it was supposed to be a transactional thing of like, oh, like maybe she was going to try to fuck him to let him on the Carola. I don't know. The scene doesn't play perfectly because it just like, I don't know. There's not enough between the two of them to really understand what's happening there, because it feels on one hand a little bit racist to just be like, oh, well, we already have a tenor, so you can't join. You're not welcome.
You're not welcome. No, I get the feeling it was more like she knew he sucked the whole time, but was dragging him along because she was trying to fuck him or whatever.
That's the other thing it felt like. So I don't know. It just didn't, it doesn't play perfectly, and then you just wind up forgetting about it anyway because you get this wild scene with the cookies, which is great. I loved it.
Yeah. So she's gone now. We then pretty quickly after that, Mayor Danica gets got in her dressing room. There's a scene where she's trying on her dresses for the big whatever event that night with Joy out in the hallway, and she gets basically hung by a piece of fabric from her dress through like a vent, like heating vents, and then eventually dragged up into the heating vent. We get her eyes like bugging out. And Satan pulls her up into the heating vent, and Joy kind of sees just the ending of this happen. Meanwhile, back at the coffee shop, we've got Chad and Holly talking. One of my favorite lines is Chad keeps making all these Christmas puns over and over again, as you would expect. And the joke is also that not only can she not find any like regular booze in this place or in this town, she's always drinking like creme de menthe and stuff like that, but she can't get like regular coffee. Everything's like a, peppermint mocha, whatever kind of thing. And she's, he's making all these Christmas puns. And she's like, stop with the pun. Like, that's not even a pun. And then she says it again. He says another one, and she's like, Chad, I'm going to murder you in your sleep. It's just a funny juxtaposition, right? So, this is another funny gag. Is Joy is really fired up. She's super like scared and distraught because she saw the mayor get pulled up into the vents. They go to get the police, yada yada. Meanwhile, they're like Joy's like says she was a competitive snowman maker.
Yeah.
And Holly's like, what? That's not a thing. And she's like, well, tell my coach that or whatever. And then she's like, okay, listen, if you need to go out and like make a snowman to calm down, go ahead. And she's like, I medaled at the World Snowman Building Championships in Finland. So she goes outside to calm down. She makes a snowman. And then Satan, as expected, goes full Jack Frost the Mutant Killer Snowman and impales her with his stick arm, and then also uses her eyeballs, for his snowman eyes.
Yeah.
So now Joy has gotten it as well. So people are really dropping like flies at this point.
I was only a little disappointed that this wasn't more practical and more of a Jack Frost situation. Yeah, that's all.
You really got to it would be hard to make a big snowman suit just for one little scene, but I do appreciate that we had a snowman come to life, because that's obviously that's my bag. I love a snowman that comes to life and kills people.
Man, I don't know if I want to mention the movie's title then, because then it just gives away that it happens in the movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a movie you should watch that came out recently that has that very thing in it. That's, God damn it, it's so funny.
All right, what's the movie? You got to tell me. How do I know how to watch it if you don't
I
know
know.
what the movie is?
I just didn't want to spoil it because it's so funny when it happens. The new Naked Gun.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Dude.
All right. I'm going to watch it anyway.
There's far more to the sequence, so you'll appreciate it, but there's a snowman sequence in that film that is one of the funniest things I have ever seen.
All right, I gotta watch this. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. I gotta watch it. Yeah, so we find the mayor's corpse is then put in the like nativity scene right in the middle of the town. So we've seen this. No one else has noticed this at this point. They were talking about, there was one gag about oh boy, what was it? I think it was when they cut back to the news people, and they're like something about a very white elephant gift exchange. Do you know the gag I'm talking about?
Oh, I don't know. I remember them talking about doing the puff piece about the painting animal at the zoo, which was a hippo.
Yeah, and then they were like, works great for a very white elephant gift. I just thought calling it a white elephant gift exchange, a very white elephant gift exchange. It's funny. Anyway, all the guys at this point are starting to fight over Holly, and she's like ready to just fuck all of them. She's like, listen, let's all go back to my place. Have you ever had a foursome? Like, she's ready to fuck all these guys at once.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is funny. Like she's just down to fuck at any moment. Drop of a hat.
Yeah. Cause we also get introduced to a new character about this time, because they're all at a party. Oh, yes. And we get introduced to, I believe his last name's Goldberg.
I think it's Grossman. Isn't it Grossman?
I'm going to look. Goldman. So we split the difference.
We were each half right. Yeah.
Yeah. But they made reference to this character earlier, that the Goldman's house got Christmas lighted by the vaping teens. And Holly was like, "You're allowed to be Jewish in ornaments, Danica."
Well, that's just such Christmas with the Cranks vibes. If you've ever seen that movie, I've talked about that as one of my guilty pleasure movies in the holidays. Is Christmas with the Cranks, the one house that like is assaulted by the entire neighborhood for not decorating.
But his name's Jack Goldman, but he is played by very clearly Xavier Lopez, who is just clearly a Hispanic man playing a Jewish man. And they make an allusion to the fact that like Holly finds him very exotic. He's also and I don't know that this part, but it just adds to him seeming like a fish out of water in this weird whitewashed town, is because he's also like a foot shorter than everybody else. Yeah, he's 5'2" when she's 5'5", and everybody, all the other hunks are obviously Hallmark hunks who like are
over 6 foot.
Yeah. But like, she's definitely like smitten with him as well. And so she tries to round up 3 hunks and this little brown guy, and like, let's all go back to my house and fucking my childhood home bedroom. And yeah.
But yeah, so but then Chris what's her name, Faith Pringle, comes in, and she's found the mayor's corpse at the nativity scene, so kind of like blows up her spot. And she's like, okay, we're going live, bring the camera. She goes out and is like, we found the mayor's corpse, blah blah blah, but it's gone. And that section of the nativity scene's gone, and now she kind of looks dumb. So she's like, oh no, that didn't work out that great. The cops all think that the disappearances are at first due to the vaping teens, but then, which is like, wait, are they murderers now? But then they start to basically say like, oh no, it's, maybe it's Holly, right? So they start to get like suspicious of her. We also get this like makeover scene where like Holly is trying to be more relatable. But you see she's starting to get a little bit in the Christmas spirit. Her sister Cookie gives her like a sweater she makes, and she pulls down her hair. And that's like the magic switch that is flipped. She takes down her hair, which is such a Hallmark thing. Is like, she's going to go from her big city updo to letting her hair down and being a country gal kind of thing.
She's turning feminine again. Look at all her long, luxurious locks, and they're all teased up, and they're done up, and she's done her makeup properly, and she has the big red lips now. And she's all ready to be taken up by one of the hunks.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing this scene where it's like the thing with all the the kids in town. They're giving them Christmas presents, and she's there, covering it for the news channel, the big city news. They open the presents on air, and all the kids have boxes with body parts in them, just like her and her sister opened when they were a kid with their parents cut up in it. Cookie has goes into shock or has a heart attack or something on the set, but then she's fine in 5 seconds later, which I thought was kind of funny. But they're starting to really suspect it's Holly now because they find all of her belongings covered with blood, at the scene of the crime. Obviously, Satan is framing her, but the officers come and arrest her at Cookie's house, and Cookie just flips on her immediately, and it's like, "Oh, you killed them all, and you killed our parents too," basically. And then, but luckily, Chris Pringle is also a lawyer, so he comes in and he's like, uncuff her. I passed the bar last year as well. And the cops just uncuff her because that's how
that
lawyering works, I guess. Yeah. But then they go outside and they're like, "No, we believe you that it was Satan, the Pringles." And Satan shows up outside their house and makes the Pringles start doing rapid snow angels for some reason as torture. Holly sticks candy canes in Satan's eyes, but then he's like, "Oh, I'm fine, whatever, you can't hurt me," basically. She runs away, and then they just let the Pringles go, so everything's okay for now. So they have this big showdown with Satan, but it's just they just let him go, and it's just she's gone for now. Holly decides to send a letter. Basically, it comes up and is like, "Oh, if Satan's real, then maybe Santa's real." And she decides to send her a letter to Santa to ask for his help to get rid of Satan. So they do this little montage where they're like, "All right, let's write the letter." And it's Faith and Holly. And they wake up in the morning and Santa has written back, but he's got some dumb, nonsensical, a riddle about, doing something for somebody else and then lighting something or whatever. Okay, fine. Some little dumb riddle that they don't know what it is. But they start working their way through the riddle, and they first realize that they have to help someone else. So they help Chad to the concert has been canceled. That night there's supposed to be this concert and at the bakery, and Chad and Aunt Becky are gonna have all these pies, and it's supposed to be this big town fundraiser thing, but they've canceled it because they're all scared of Holly because they think she's a mass murderer. Yeah. Which is funny because all the things that are happening in town that are "Oh no, Christmas is canceled," are all because they think Holly's a mass murderer, but Holly's just giving them stupid suggestions to figure it out.
Yeah.
So first they're like, "Okay, we need to help him fall in love first." So the farmer guy comes in and they're just like, "Hey, you guys should be in love." And they're just like, "Hey, yay, they're a couple now." It's that easy. Yeah. She's like, "Are you single?" "Yeah." "All right, why don't you ask him out?" And they're like, "Do you want to go out?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they're like, she's like, "Yay, you both like each other. So we have to get back to saving Christmas."
We did it.
It's that quick.
Also, they just do give him the quick makeover of dressing him exactly like the hunks as well.
Yeah. They just give him a leather jacket and just
they give him the leather jacket and just over a fleece pullover or whatever. And then the John Smith walks in dressed exactly the same way. And they're like, "Hey, you two guys like each other? Okay, now you're dating. We did a good thing. First thing off the list."
Move on. Yeah. So Holly just tells everybody a bunch of dumb shit, and they believe it. Just even though they think she killed everybody, which is really dumb. To get kickstart everything back on track with Christmas. They go to the caroling event, but then all the carolers have laryngitis all of a sudden. So Holly has to go up and do a big speech about how she believes in Christmas now. And then she has to sing this super religious Christmas song. And they And the Kringles, Faith Kringles playing the guitar, which is hilarious because she's just clearly strumming a guitar like half-heartedly, but what's playing is like an insane guitar solo, which is another dumb gag. But all of their minds are changed by this speech and song. Like they finish and they're like, "No, it couldn't have been you, Holly. You're the best." And they're back. They're back at it. Just then, when you think everything's turning, moving in the right direction, a body falls from the rafters, smashes on the ground. And the funniest part of it is not even a significant character. No. They're like, "Oh my God, who is it?" And they're like, "It's Carol from Carol's Electronics," which they mentioned one other time earlier, like in passing.
Yeah, we never see this character ever. And even after the body falls, like they don't do a close up or anything on the body. You just see the body fall and it hits the deck and they go, "Oh, it's Carol from Carol's Electronics. Oh no." And then moving on, they decide like, "Oh, it's time to, we're going to light the tree anyway. Like everybody's going to find out." But no, they light the tree. And it's just full of body parts. It's full of heads and arms, and it's like strung up. It's like a real grotesquerie that you would see in like Hannibal.
Yeah. And they're like, "That's why everyone didn't come, because they got chopped up and thrown in the tree." So they devise this plan to like defeat Satan, I guess. So she writes another letter. Yeah, and then everybody's got to attend the tree lighting, but no one shows up because they're all dead. Then what's his name? Kevin shows up just randomly, and they're like, everyone loved all the gory stuff on you have the anchor job. And she basically says like, "We don't, I don't want it anymore. I'm not interested," having the whole heel, a whole face turn like they do in all these movies. But she's also like waiting to set up Satan, but they don't know if she's going to show up. And she does this thing where which is, I don't know why I thought this line was really funny, but she's just like, "Show yourself."
It's all in the delivery. It fucking rules.
I'm not doing it justice. No. It's just such a funny line.
Yeah, but you're close the way she just goes up and down on the inflection. Like it's prolonged. Yeah. It's like, "Show yourself." It's not. It's so fucking weird. Her boss though has some more great pregnancy lines though when he comes in to let her know she got the job. She goes in, "Yeah, we already got rid of Christy. She's already cleaning out her dressing room. She cried." It was the pregnancy hormones.
He always has like, he's so profoundly grossed out by pregnancy.
It's just so funny in the progression of like, "She already cleaned the dressing room out. She cried." And so like, okay, she's crying.
He came the whole way from the big city to tell her that.
To just tell her she cried. And then blames her crying over being fired on pregnancy hormones.
Yeah, like it must be the pregnancy hormones. Like all the problems are stemming from her being pregnant.
Yeah.
Satan is like being a real smart ass too at this point, which, she's saying stuff when Satan shows up and is like, she's like, I love Christmas now, blah, blah, blah. And Satan's like doing the like gag me sign.
Yeah.
Like, just being super cartoonish. Meanwhile, Holly kind of figures out, it comes to her all at once, the last part of Santa's riddle, that she's got to burn the original letter. So she burns the letter, and Satan starts to, set on fire as well. And also, it's not really explained, but also all the remaining like survivors in the town are also like telepathically pulling together. Like, I don't know if it's like a manifestation of their Christmas spirit.
They're all doing the Care Bear stare at Satan to banish Satan.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
But there's also like, it almost looks like lightning bolts, like going from their heads to Satan.
Well, I think it was ridiculous. Satan shooting lightning bolts, and they're shooting back Care Bear stare.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
It was just confusing because like they're both of the same color palette. Like Satan's shooting red lightning and they're shooting red Christmas love. It's like, you break it up a little bit.
Yeah, sure. But they all do it, and it overcomes Satan, and Satan explodes, basically into an indoor snow shower.
Yeah,
and they're all like, "Yay, it's snowing!"
And everybody's alive.
And then, oh yeah. So this is obviously the joke on the Hallmark movies is because everything wraps up like super tidy with a little bow on it in the last like 5 minutes. So that's what happens here. It's snowing and they're like, everyone's alive again. So all the people Satan killed are just alive and back with no explanation. And it's a Christmas. He's like, everyone's alive again. It's a Christmas miracle. They literally say that line. And now everything's just getting wrapped up perfectly. Like Farmer John reveals to Chad that he's a prince that was just coming to live like a commoner, and he proposes to Chad, and Chad's gonna be his Chad's like, wait, I'm gonna be a prince's prince. And it's like this big dumb like, because a lot of the freaking Hallmark movies are about like royalty. Right. There's always like a prince for Christmas and that sort of shit.
Hidden prince or a hidden billionaire, some sort of thing like that.
Yeah,
where you get the big reward of being a good Christmas Christian, and then you get the big reward of being swept away on your magical life.
Yeah, so Chad gets that happen to him. The cameraman, Sam, is obviously alive again, finds his earring hanging on the Christmas tree, and also reunites with Kevin like for some reason. Like they were really close. We didn't know. Kris Kringle gives Holly a gift. It's a Darby Dream wagon, like a little toy one. And then she's like, leans in to kiss him. And he's like, oh, whoa, wait, no. And she's like, wait, I thought that's where this was going. Like, we're wrapping things up. We're not going to kiss. And she's like, well, he's like, the next person I kiss, I want to be, forever. And I want to, remarry. Will you marry me? And she's like, no.
Ooh,
no, definitely not.
Yeah.
She's like, it's this super awkward moment. And she's like, you're really hot, but super lame. And I don't want to be that weirdo's mom ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
She just like,
she's like, I don't want to be anybody's mom ever, but especially not like your weird adult daughter.
Yeah. So the joke is like, no, I just thought we were going to fuck and that's it. But no, I'm not going to marry you. And I don't want anything to do with your weird daughter. And then she finds the Jewish waiter and they make out.
And she dips him.
Yeah, she dips him because like I said, she's like a foot taller than him. And then she's like to the mayor, she's like, hey, do you guys swing? And she's like, as a matter of fact, we do. And they're like, all right.
So earlier she tried to have a foursome with the three hunks or two hunks and Goldman. And now she switched it to instead I'm going to have a foursome with Goldman and the mayor and Joy.
Yeah. And then Faith Pringle comes on as like, God bless everyone except Satan. And then, which is a great ending. But then we get the real ending, which is Aunt Becky walking off into the alley.
No, it's not Aunt Becky.
Oh,
no.
Oh, I thought it was Aunt Becky.
No,
Who is it?
It is just the Santa horror from the beginning of the film.
Oh, I thought it was Aunt Becky.
No.
That makes more sense. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. That's what I was saying earlier, like something we thought we didn't know about Aunt Becky. I was thinking that was Aunt Becky.
No.
But yes. Okay. So it's just the random alley Santa from the beginning of the movie is walking off with a bag of toys over her shoulder and into the alley, and you look down in the snow and her footprints are hoof tracks. So of course it's still Satan is still afoot.
Yeah. And Satan did a good deed. Like,
I guess, like, wait, did Satan set this all up, or is this like him luring them into some sort of false sense of security? We're not sure.
Holly's parents are still dead. Like, she's still, her and Cookie still went through that trauma of growing up without parents, but for some reason, Satan gives them the happy ending this time. I don't know. It's
all this stuff
doesn't matter.
It got undone, but not that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. That's the end of the movie. An absolute Christmas treat. I think I would strongly suggest Letters to Satan Claus. Check out from 20 and 20. I would feel comfortable putting this into my annual Christmas rotation. Kate and I were laughing our balls off the entire time at this movie because it just, so many funny gags, so many like funny Hallmark Christmas movie tropes, some gross stuff, a good, wacky Satan mask, cursing, all the stuff you want in a holiday horror comedy. So absolutely check it out. All right. Any final thoughts on this movie, Steven, before we wrap up our convo?
No, I think this is just a good one to just start on people so they think they're about to watch a Hallmark movie. Like, don't let them see like the title or anything. Just start the movie on them and, let them, start to figure it out. Like, this is weird. Like, because
wait, did she just say fuck?
Yeah.
Like
there's cussing.
Yeah.
It still looks like a Hallmark movie, but all right.
Yeah.
What's all that pregnancy
strikingly
stuff?
Strikingly like a Hallmark movie. Yes. Listen, here's what I would suggest. Go watch it, post about it. Let's see if we can't get this streaming somewhere decent instead of on fucking Daily Motion. You know what I mean? Like I said, this is better than 75% of the horror movies on Tubi. Certainly the Christmas horror movies. So this absolutely should be out there somewhere. Who knows why it's not, but check it out. Check it out. And listen, hey, if you are involved with this movie at all in the production of this movie or the making of it or whatever, and you catch wind of this, let us know why we can't find it anywhere. Because we'd love to. I mean, personally, I'd love to champion this movie because it is, like I said, one of my new favorite Christmas horror movies, frankly. And I'm also just curious why it's so fucking hard to find. It's like a very fun movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why they would just not just have it up on repeat or something. It's such a weird thing. But I don't know. Maybe SyFy doesn't have that deep of a roster on Christmas films, and they don't want to license it out. I don't know. Fucking weird.
I don't know. Get your head out of your ass, SyFy. Once again, also, before I forget, make sure you join us next week as we jump into, speaking of Christmas and Satan, our Secret Satan Showdown next week, where we're going to be talking about 3 different Christmas horror movies. And we don't even know what they're going to be yet. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Or Steve knows what they're going to be, but we don't know who's going to be talking about which. And once again, join us over, if you haven't already, on the Patreon. Sign up over there. It's super easy. You can download the Patreon app too, and you can listen from there, or whatever you want to do. And then you can join us, live on the Discord. But I'm really excited about this next Patreon exclusive podcast series. I have probably 6 or 7 of the 10 movies already solidified, and I've watched 2 of them that I never saw before. And holy motherfucking shit, I'm excited. I will say this as well, and Steve, you don't deserve this.
Okay.
And I'm almost sad to say it, but we're actually going to be watching quite a few fun movies. Most of them aren't absolute dog shit, but there will be a couple of dog shit ones. But 2 movies that we're absolutely going to watch are
just good,
actually really fun. I mean,
not good.
We'll wait if you say good. We'll wait if you think good, but they're fun and they are very apropos to our overarching goal of the series. So. All right. Anything else before we wrap this thing up?
On Christmas related, I've been catching up on things I missed because I was very busy doing 31 Days of Horror. And one of those things I caught up on was season 2 of Twisted Metal. Have you watched season 1? It's on Peacock. So if you don't have Peacock, then yeah.
I did for a while, and then I found myself like never watching it except for some like random wrestling things sometimes, and that was about it.
But okay, so season 2 is so much better than season 1. Like season 1 is like Twisted Metal related because it's leading up to the tournament, but then season 2 is the actual tournament, and then they add in just a bunch of crazy characters. And one of the standouts this season is, do you know who Lisa Gilroy is?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, she plays a character. She plays one of the like kind of not necessarily bad guy, because like everybody's a bad guy in this show. Like everybody's some sort of crazy villain. But yeah, she plays this bug woman called Vermin who drives an exterminator van and is just like obsessed with bugs. And she plays this disgusting, awful person. And then she's also just trying to like hook up with other people as well, and is like disgusting, and she smells. And God, I love her. She's so funny.
Yeah, she is hilarious. I mean, she's an improviser, right? So she's wildly funny. Also, I love when just absolutely physically drop dead gorgeous people play ugly characters.
She is rancid in Twisted Metal, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, she's very, very funny. Anyway, you know what, I just started, and I don't know if I don't know, because I'm watching all these movies for the Patreon thing, and I've been watching a bunch of randoms, like catching up a little bit now that travel's cooled down for work. Because the last like 6 weeks have been insane amount of travel. Now it's like cooling down going to the end of the year. I've been watching a lot of stuff that's like been sitting on my watch list for a long time. But one thing, as far as and I don't watch a lot of series, I watch a lot of movies. But one series I did start, which it's 2 seasons and they're long episodes, so we'll see, is oh gosh, what is it on? It's the Nosferatu, the NOS number 4A2, based on the Joe Hill novel that we talked about. I did not realize it was a series. I thought it was just a movie. And I started watching it on, it's on Netflix. I think it's also maybe on Shudder as well, but it's on AMC Plus, on Netflix. It's on a number of places. But I just watched the first couple of episodes. I was like, oh, this seems kind of fucking cool. I like that book a lot, so we shall see.
Right on.
And it's Christmassy. It's about Christmassy. It's a little Christmassy.
A little Christmassy.
Well, it starts very Christmassy, and then there's the killer is not the killer. He is a killer, but yeah, it's the supernatural element. He is Christmassy. The whole story isn't necessarily Christmassy, which is interesting.
Right on.
All right. Well,
if I can sell you on Twisted Metal one more time, it's actually half-hour episodes too. So you burn through it pretty quick. You burn through it pretty quick.
That helps a lot, because this Nosferatu thing, it's like they're like 50 minutes episodes. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's like 50-minute episodes, 2 seasons. Holy shit. That's a big undertaking. Maybe not for a normal human, but for me, it has short attention span. But all right, well, guys, hope your holiday season is starting with a bang. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, and now we're getting into some spooky Christmas shit for the rest of the year. If you've got anything else, we're gonna have some other minisodes throughout the balance of the year. We usually do some fun stuff towards the end of the year where we have some like guests and things like that, so that'll be fun. But if you've got anything weird, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, count them, 5 Mondays in December. If you got any holiday horror that might not be on our radar, something like this movie we talked about tonight, send it our way. We'll be doing it all damn December long. All right. For the Halloween is Forever crew, I'm Brian.
And I'm Saucy Santa Claus.
You are?
Yeah, that's the name of the song. That's the name of the song. The pervert song. It's called That's the pervert song in this one. Look it up. You can watch it on YouTube.
I am Notorious Pervert Santa Claus. All right, bye.
Bye.